Every time that my mind slips, I just see my past life. Having dreams in a dream, I wonder why I carried on with the things that made you lose your mind. There's no way I can undo what I've done. Can we be strangers again? Start fresh like a morning. What's so bad about that? So why won't you follow? Why won't you follow me home?
So hey everybody, it's Mickey, and in today's video we are stocking the pantry for fall. I'm going to take you into my food storage room, show you what I have on hand and what I'm going to be ordering to restock my shelves. And I'm going to be sharing with you some meal in a bag recipe ideas for those busy fall weeknight dinners. So if you are new here, I hope you'll take a minute to subscribe. I put out new videos every week about all things home. Our food storage room is on our lower level, right at the bottom of the stairs. We have this whole room that is pretty much dedicated to food storage and to the smaller appliances that I just can't fit up into my kitchen. So I have been down in my food storage room and I'm just working my shelves a little bit. I am checking all the expiration dates. I'm kind of rotating things around. Those things that I have, you know, like at least a year until they expire, I'm putting them in the back. The ones that are a little bit less, I'm moving them up front just so that I can see what I have and what I have that is about to expire. I really like to get a good idea of what I have in about mid-October so that I can do some planning for the upcoming months. You know, we have all the holidays coming and we have those colder months where, you know, you really are not going to want to be going out as much and you want to make sure that you have whatever you need at home. I thought I would give you a quick rundown on my shelves down here. I am by no means what I would term a prepper. I am more of pretty much like a 6-month to maybe a year food storage. I like to have a little bit of backup of everything so that I know that I can, you know, make our family favorites without too much trouble. And if we get stuck where one of us is sick, another pandemic happens, or we just are so busy with life, we're not heading out to the grocery store as much, I want to be sure that I have everything that I need. So this side of my food storage is mostly like extras. Like I have a lot of my baking items here. I have a lot of my sanding sugars, my cookie cutters, the things that I use to decorate cakes and cookies and cupcakes. I have my foil pans that I like to use to freeze things. I have some extra baking items here, a little bit of flour, a little bit of baking soda, a little bit of baking powder. We are big pasta eaters in our house, so pasta has a big presence in my food storage. This is a container here of stellina pasta. I have some tortellini. I have some egg noodles back there, and this is completely full. I know that I am good for a couple months of soup making with my stellina. I like to use stellina and pastina in my soup, so I am all set there. In this container here, I have a lot of breakfast items. So I have like raisins, I have oatmeal. In the back there, I have some pecans, almonds, I have granola. These are the items that I like to use for, you know, breakfast, for cereals, for quick meals. Oatmeal I use a lot in baking for cookies and things like that. So I have some room in this container, so I'm probably going to be picking up some boxed cereal, some pancake mix, and probably a bottle or two of syrup. We are not big canned fruit eaters in our house, but I do like to have a few cans on hand. I really loved canned pears, and I like to have a couple cans of pie filling in my cabinet. These are so great for a quick dessert. I have a peach cobbler cake that I make all the time, and I have a strawberry cream cheese cake that is just so good. And heading out into fall, I really do like to have a couple of cans of pumpkin in my cabinet, you know, for pies and bread and muffins. I have a pretty good supply of beans on hand. I know that I need a couple cans of black beans and cannellini beans. And as you can see, I am still working my way through my case of Lipton onion soup mix. I got a lot of great recipe ideas from you guys in the comments section that I have been making the last couple weeks. So in my cooking weekly, I really do use a lot of tomato products. I use a lot of picante sauce, I use a lot of rotel, I use a lot of crushed tomatoes and tomato sauce. So I like to have a pretty good stock of it on hand. I can see from what I have here is that I'm a little empty. I know that I need some tomato puree, which has been difficult to find in my area for some reason. Even at Walmart, I haven't been able to order it in the last 2 weeks, so I'm going to be looking locally at our grocery stores for it. I use a ton of crushed tomatoes. As you can see, I'm pretty well stocked, but I really love these small containers of the crushed tomatoes. This is what I use for my pizza sauce, and I often like to just add it to my regular spaghetti sauce because it really adds such a great flavor. So up there I know that I need some more rotel, I need some more picante sauce and Alfredo sauce and some jarred tomato sauce. So this is the next shelf that I have to organize. This is where I keep all of my cream soups, my chicken broth, and beef broth. I can also see back there that I have some jarred turkey gravy, probably left over from last Thanksgiving. I know I'm going to have to move that up and use that. I can also see that I need some smooth peanut butter. We go through a ton of peanut butter in our house, and that I will probably be picking up at Costco. So down below here, I have some of my daily pasta or my weekly pasta that I use, and I'm going to have to buy a couple boxes over the next couple weeks to fill this back up again. This I usually have like my skinny spaghetti, linguine, there's probably elbow macaroni in there as well, and I really do like these pot size spaghetti containers. It's pretty much your regular spaghetti, just broken in half. They make it really easy to do a quick meal. So next to my pasta container here, I have my chip container. I always have a couple bags of tortilla chips in here for chilies and taco soup and nachos and those kinds of things. I know that I have one bag of Fritos and one bag of the bite-size tortilla chips. So I think I'm pretty good for probably the next 2 or so months. I know that I went through all of my baking and my side buckets at the beginning of September, and I think I am pretty well stocked until I buy for holiday baking time. As far as the sides go, I know that I have a couple of boxes of rice-a-roni in there. I have an extra bag of rice, and I have some Kraft macaroni and cheese for when my favorite little people come to visit. In our last cabinet here, it looks like I'm going to be needing to pick up some more canned veggies. We usually eat fresh or frozen, but I really do like to have canned vegetables in the cabinet to throw in, in a casserole or to serve up as a quick side dish. The first step to stocking your pantry for fall is knowing what you have and knowing what you need. So we've gone through everything. I have my list all ready to go. I'm going to sit down and order what I need from Walmart, and then I'm going to show you what I got. So I just got back from Walmart. I picked up my pantry order. I did have a few items today that were for meals that I'm going to be making later on this week, but the majority of this order was just for my pantry. This is just the first of what will be 2 pantry orders that I'm going to be making for fall. The next one is going to be towards the end of October, early November, and I will be keeping Thanksgiving in mind for that one. So let me show you what I picked up for my pantry order today. Here I have 4 large 29-ounce cans of some tomato products. I have my tomato sauce here. I have tomato puree. I was really happy to see that Walmart had it for my order. I have 2 large jars here of picante sauce. I like to get the medium heat. Now I use these instead of salsa. I like to add them to my taco soup. I like to add them to my chili. Back here, I have some roasted peppers. I have a can of cranberry sauce, whole berry. Whenever I see it, as soon as I see it on the shelves, I like to grab 1 or 2 cans just in case I can't find it around Thanksgiving. I have a couple cans there of some sweet peas. I have 2 cans of black beans. I really love to have applesauce for like when we have like a pork roast or you know, ham or something like that. But what I find when I have the larger jars now that, you know, all the kids are out of the house, we just can't eat it fast enough and it ends up going bad. So I like to get the individual servings. This is just perfect for us. 1 or 2 goes along with, you know, our meal, and then I have it in the refrigerator for whenever we need it next. So I have 2 of the regular applesauces. I have 4 cans of cream of chicken soup. This and cream of mushroom is what I use most of in a recipe that calls for cream soup. So I like to be sure that I have as many as possible in my pantry. I have a couple cans here of pumpkin. Now pumpkin is something that I have in my pantry pretty much all year long, but it's in the fall that I use it the most, you know, because you have all of those great recipes for pumpkin bread, desserts, muffins, cakes, all those good things. So I like to be sure that I have a couple extra cans in my pantry. And then back here, even though I do make my own tomato sauce, I really do like to have a couple jars of pre-made sauce in the pantry. My family has a favorite, I call it my TikTok recipe, that I found on TikTok, where you use a jar of the tomato sauce and a jar of Alfredo sauce. So I always like to have those ingredients in the house. So I have 2 of traditional style Prego sauce and then 2 of the Bertolli's Alfredo sauce. Back here, I have a really large jar of pickles. I do have spears down in my pantry, but I also like to have the chips for hamburgers and bison burgers and, you know, chicken sandwiches and all those good things that you can add pickles to. I have a really good supply of pasta in my pantry, but I didn't have any rotini, so I got myself a couple boxes of rotini pasta. I like to use this a lot for any time I make a pasta salad, or like anytime I have like a really light sauce for a pasta dish. I think that rotini is a really good addition to that. I also have here just 2 containers of chicken broth. I have a bunch down in my pantry and in my pantry up in my kitchen, but you know, it never hurts to have a couple extra ones. I have a small box here of crushed tomatoes. This is my favorite kind to add for my pizza sauce that I make. And if you remember, I had several of these down in my pantry, so I just got 1 of them. I have a 4-pack here of light tuna. As far as canned meats go, I only really buy tuna, and sometimes I will have a couple cans of canned chicken down there that I like to add to, you know, casseroles, or if I have something that I want to make and I don't have enough leftover cooked chicken on hand, it's really great to, you know, just toss in a can or 2 of chicken for that. But usually it's the tuna that I have the most of. I also bought some honey mustard here. I have another container of ketchup because you don't want to run out of ketchup in my house. I have some Wishbone Ranch, which was a substitute for Hidden Valley Ranch, but I think that Wishbone is pretty good as well, so it won't hurt to have this in the refrigerator. And then I have 5 cans here of the original Rotel tomatoes. This is an addition to so many different dishes that I make, you know, chili and taco soups and casseroles. This is great to have on hand. And then I picked up an extra bag of flour and an extra bag of sugar. Now for my next pantry order, I am going to be ordering light and dark powdered sugar and anything else that I think I'm going to need for the baking that I will be doing towards the end of October and into November. So this is everything that I picked up today at Walmart for my pantry. I'm going to take some time and bring it all downstairs and add it to my shelves. You know, as far as food storage goes, I really do think that it is an individual thing. I know that some people, you know, don't feel confident unless they have practically a grocery store in their food storage room, and then there's some people that are comfortable with just a few extra backups. I am somewhere in that like 3-6 months, close to a year's supply. When the pandemic hit a few years ago, I got caught with having very few supplies on hand, and I promised myself that that would never happen again. I think I've done a pretty good job with rotating what I have and keeping everything up to date so that the food doesn't go to waste, and I actually use what I store. One of the many benefits of having a well-stocked pantry is to make what I like to call meal kits. So after I put this all away, we're going to meet back here in the kitchen, and I'm going to share with you just how easily it is to put some meal kits together for your family. So one of the things that I like to do when I am rotating my pantry and I want to use things up before they expire is I create meal kits. So what I do is I gather the ingredients for some of our family's most favorite meals, I bag them together, and I put them in my kitchen pantry to have them ready to go for like a busy night or a night that I just don't want to make what I had planned. This is something that you can easily do for your family. You know, we all know what our family's favorite meals are, so we tend to buy those ingredients over and over again. So here on my counter, I have 6 different family favorite meals, all separated and ready to be packed up in a meal kit. Now, the one thing you need to consider is that we all have a pretty well-stocked, you know, spice cabinet. I always have a freezer that's full of different meats like chicken and ground turkey and ground bison. So I have that in the back of my head when I am gathering these ingredients together. So I know that when I grab one of these bags, I know I'm going to have to probably hit up the freezer or the refrigerator for the protein in that meal. So I'll share with you the meals that I have gathered together here. So the first one is, I always call this my TikTok casserole recipe. I have made this a few times, I think, on the channel, and it's just one of our family favorites. Now, for that recipe, you are going to need a jar of tomato sauce, a jar of Alfredo sauce, and you're going to need some skinny spaghetti. Plus you'll need some ground meat, onion, spices, and cheese. So back here I have some of the ingredients for taco soup. I have a jar of picante sauce. I have some beef broth. I have a packet of taco seasoning. I have some corn, and I have some rotel. Now I know that I'm going to need some vegetables, some ground sausage or ground beef. I'm also going to need a bunch of different spices, but this is the basic ingredients for that meal. Probably my favorite bagged meal is chili. I make chili all year long. We probably make it minimal at least once a month. So the ingredients that I have for that is I have our bag of taco seasoning. I have a 29-ounce jar of crushed tomatoes. I have a can of kidney beans and one of black beans, and I have a jar of picante sauce. So I also like to include some crock pot dinners in my bagged meals, and one of our favorites is just crock pot chicken and gravy. We like to serve it over mashed potatoes with some mixed vegetables. So for that, I have a can of cream of chicken soup. I have a packet of ranch seasoning. I have 2 packets of chicken gravy, and then I have some chicken broth. I also have a red meat crock pot meal, so I will either use this for like a roast beef or sometimes even a pork tenderloin or a London broil. And this one has Lipton onion soup mix. I have a packet of brown gravy here and one of au jus gravy, and then I have some broth back here. And the last meal that I have to bag up today is for pasta vajol. I have a can of tomato sauce. I have a can of crushed tomatoes here. I have 2 cans of cannellini beans. I have a box of ditalini pasta, and I have some veggie broth back there. So what you're going to need to put these meal bags together is just some Ziploc bags. I have the regular gallon size and the 2-gallon size. You can also use like little gift bags. You know those little gift bags you can find like in Walmart and things? Those are really awesome because they have a flat bottom and they're really easy to store and they're easy to give away. So I just use a Sharpie to write the name of the recipe here on the bag. If I'm just going to use them myself, I really don't bother to put the recipe inside because I usually know what I'm going to need to complete the recipe. But like I said, if I'm going to give it to one of my kids or a neighbor, I'll stick the recipe in there and I will let them know exactly what they're going to need to complete the recipe. So I have all of my recipes all bagged up here, and then I just grabbed one of these little clear acrylic bins. I probably found this on Amazon. If I can find it for you, I'll leave a link to it down below. But I just keep this in my little pantry closet up here in the kitchen, and then I just stick in all of our little bagged recipes here. I just think that this is such an easy way to just, take stress off of yourself for, coming up with what to make for dinner every night. Knowing that I have a bunch of these already bagged together and I just need to add a few more ingredients and dinner is done is such a good feeling, especially on those really busy nights when you come home and you're just pooped. You just don't want to do much, but you want to have a good meal. You guys will have to let me know in the comment section down below if you like this idea, because I have a ton of recipes that I can share with you that would make perfect meal kit ideas. We can do a whole video with recipes, packing the meal kits, and then making a few of the recipes together. So be sure to leave me a comment down below. So thank you all so much for watching today's Stock Your Fall Pantry video. Please leave me a comment down below and let me know if you are interested in seeing some more of those bagged meals dinners. Join our communities over on Facebook and Instagram at My Bashful Life, and don't forget to subscribe. I'd love to have you all back as part of our YouTube family. So until I see you in that next video, I hope that you love the life that you have, be kind to each other, stay safe, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.